Before we dive in, please remember that the information in this presentation is for educational purposes only. It reflects our analysis and opinions and should not be taken as specific financial or business implementation advice for your organization. Always consult with your own IT and business leadership. Think about Sarah in your marketing department. Last month, she spent nearly 2 full weeks on the quarterly performance report. It was a nightmare. She was digging through shared drives for last year's presentation, chasing down the sales team for the latest figures from Salesforce, trying to decipher a dozen different spreadsheets with conflicting data, and then attempting to summarize a 100-page market analysis from the R&D team. She spent hours formatting slides, tweaking charts, and trying to craft a narrative that made sense. 2 weeks of a highly paid, creative employee's time was spent on digital grunt work. Now, what if I told you she could have done the entire thing, from data collection to a finished, polished PowerPoint presentation with speaker notes, in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee? Not just a rough draft, the final product. In 7 minutes. That sounds like science fiction. But it's not. It's the reality of what's happening inside some of the smartest companies in America right now. And the technology behind it is called Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365, specifically the Enterprise version. And if you're only vaguely familiar with the name Copilot, thinking it's just another chatbot like ChatGPT, then you are about to miss the single biggest productivity revolution since the invention of the internet. This isn't about asking an AI to write a poem or plan a vacation. This is about fundamentally rewiring the operational DNA of your entire company. This video series is your executive briefing. It's for the leaders, the innovators, the people who know that in today's hyper-competitive American market, efficiency isn't just a goal. It's a weapon. We're going to cut through the marketing hype and show you department by department how this tool is creating an almost unfair advantage for the companies that adopt it first. We will show you what it is, how it actually works with your company's data, and how to deploy it so you're not just buying software, you're buying speed, intelligence, and a decisive edge over your competition. Let's be honest about the problem we're all facing. For the last 20 years, we've been sold a dream of digital transformation. We bought the software. We moved to the cloud. We have more apps, more platforms, and more data than ever before. But what did we really get? We got digital friction. We got a workforce that spends, on average, over 2.5 hours every single day just searching for information. That's more than a full day of work per employee per week wasted on just looking for things. We have brilliant minds spending their time toggling between 10 different windows, manually copying and pasting data from a spreadsheet into a slide deck, and trying to summarize an email chain with 50 replies just to figure out what the final decision was. This is the invisible tax on American productivity. It's the silent killer of innovation. Your teams are drowning in data but starving for insights. Every major initiative, every new project, kicks off with this monumental, soul-crushing effort to just get everyone on the same page. We tried to solve it, didn't we? We built complex intranets that nobody uses. We bought specialized search tools that only index a fraction of our content. We invested in project management platforms that just became another silo of information to get lost in. Each solution was a patch, another login, another system that didn't talk to the others. The promise was a seamless digital workplace. The reality was a digital Frankenstein, stitched together with good intentions but ultimately clumsy and inefficient. So why is this time different? The answer is 2 words: context and integration. Previous AI tools were like a brilliant intern you hired who has no idea how your company works. You could ask it general questions, and it would give you great, generic answers based on public internet data. But you couldn't ask it, what were our key takeaways from the Q3 client meeting with ACME Corp? Or summarize the unresolved issues from the Project Titan engineering chat. That intern had no access, no context. Microsoft Copilot Enterprise is not an outside intern. It's a genius-level assistant who has been working at your company for years. It has securely and privately read every document, every email, every chat message, every calendar invite, and every spreadsheet your company has ever created that you have permission to see. It understands the context. It knows who reports to whom. It knows the history of a project. It knows your customers, your products, and your internal jargon. This is possible because of a technology called the Microsoft Graph. Think of it as the digital nervous system of your organization. It's been mapping the relationships between people, content, and activities across your Microsoft 365 ecosystem for years. Copilot taps into this nervous system, so when you ask it a question, it doesn't just search the internet. It performs a deep contextual search across your entire universe of company data. Your OneDrive, your SharePoint, your Teams chats, your Outlook emails. It then takes that grounded factual information from your business, applies the reasoning power of a large language model like GPT-4, and gives you an answer, a summary, a document, or a presentation that is deeply relevant to you and your work. And the most critical part? It does all of this inside the applications your team already uses every single day. This is the integration piece, and it's what makes it frictionless. It's not another app you have to open. It's a button inside Outlook that says, "Summarize this thread." It's a prompt inside Word that says, "Draft a proposal based on the data in Q4 sales projections, XLSX," and the notes from client kickoff call docs. It's a feature in Teams that can tell you, in real time during a meeting you joined late, what decisions have been made and what the open action items are. This isn't just an upgrade. It's a fundamental paradigm shift in how knowledge work gets done. We are moving from a world where humans search for information to a world where information finds humans. We are transitioning from manually creating documents to simply directing our AI Copilot to assemble them for us from our own collective intelligence. Over the course of this series, we are going to break this down into a practical, no-nonsense playbook for US companies. We're going beyond the flashy demos. In the next parts, we will dive deep into specific high-impact use cases. We'll show you how your sales team can use Copilot to generate customized pitches in minutes instead of hours, dramatically increasing the number of clients they can engage. We'll explore how your human resources department can slash onboarding time by giving new hires an AI mentor that can instantly answer any question about company policy or procedures. We'll look at how your finance and legal teams can use it to analyze dense contracts and financial reports, flagging risks and opportunities in seconds. We will also tackle the tough questions that every American executive and IT leader should be asking. What about data privacy and security? How does Microsoft ensure that your proprietary company data isn't being used to train the public model? What is the real cost of implementation? And how do you measure the return on investment? What does a successful rollout strategy look like to ensure maximum adoption and avoid overwhelming your employees? The goal of this series is to arm you with the knowledge to make an informed, strategic decision, because the window of opportunity for early adoption is closing fast. Right now, implementing this technology is a massive competitive advantage. In 18 months, it will be table stakes. The biggest risk you face isn't the cost of implementing Copilot Enterprise. It's the cost of your competitor figuring it out before you do. Your team is already working hard. It's time to give them the tools to work smart, to eliminate the digital drag, and to unleash the full force of their creativity and expertise. It's time to give them a Copilot. But what does that actually mean? What is a Copilot in the context of your business? Forget for a moment the abstract idea of artificial intelligence. Instead, picture the cockpit of a modern airliner. You have a highly skilled pilot, an expert in their field, responsible for the most critical decisions. But they aren't alone. Next to them sits a co-pilot. The co-pilot isn't there to fly the plane for them. They're there to manage the complex systems, to run the checklists, to handle communications, to monitor for anomalies. They are a force multiplier. They take the cognitive load of the routine but crucial tasks off the pilot's shoulders, freeing them up to focus on the high-level strategy, navigating the storm, optimizing the flight path, and ensuring a safe arrival. That is precisely what Microsoft Copilot is for your team. Your employee is the pilot. They are the expert. Copilot is their digital counterpart, sitting right beside them in every application they use, every single day. It's not a replacement. It's an augmentation. It's the single biggest leap in personal productivity since the invention of the personal computer itself. To understand its power, you have to understand that Copilot isn't just one thing. It's not just a chatbot bolted onto the side of Microsoft Office. That's a fundamental misunderstanding. It's a sophisticated orchestrated system with 3 core components working in perfect harmony. First, you have the engine itself, the large language models or LLMs. This is the brain of the operation. Think of it as a vast reasoning engine, trained on a massive portion of the public internet, capable of understanding language, generating text, writing code, and analyzing information with stunning nuance. It's built on the most advanced AI models in the world, like OpenAI's GPT-4, giving it an unprecedented ability to comprehend and create. This is the raw horsepower. Second, you have the applications your business already runs on Microsoft 365. This is where the work gets done. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams. These are the hands and feet of the system. For decades, These have been the undisputed tools of productivity in the American workplace. Copilot is not a separate destination you have to go to. It is woven directly into the fabric of these tools. It lives inside the documents, spreadsheets, and presentations your teams are already building. It's in the emails they're writing and the meetings they're attending. It meets them where they are, eliminating the friction of switching between different windows and applications. But it's the third component that is the real secret sauce. This is what separates Microsoft Copilot from every other AI tool on the market and makes it truly enterprise-grade. It's called the Microsoft Graph. If the LLM is the brain and the apps are the hands, the graph is the central nervous system of your entire organization's data. For years, the graph has been quietly working in the background, mapping the relationships between all of your company's information. It knows who you are, who you report to, and who you work with most closely. It understands the context of your projects because it has access to your emails, your files, your chats, your calendar appointments, and your meeting transcripts. Think about that for a second. It connects the dots. It knows that the PowerPoint presentation you're working on is for the quarterly business review mentioned in an email chain with the finance department, which is based on the sales data from an Excel file stored in a specific SharePoint site. This is a concept Microsoft calls grounding. When one of your employees makes a request to Copilot, it doesn't just send that request to the generic public LLM. That would be useless. Instead, Copilot first uses the Microsoft Graph to pull in all the relevant business context. It finds the right documents, the right emails, the right data points from inside your organization. Then, it combines that specific private business context with the power of the LLM to generate a response that is not only intelligent, but deeply relevant and personal to your work. Here's a practical example. You could go to a public AI tool and ask, "Write a summary of our latest sales performance." It would have no idea what to do. It would probably apologize and say it doesn't have access to that information. Now, ask Microsoft Copilot that same question. Queries the Microsoft Graph. The graph knows you're the VP of Sales. It finds the final Q3 sales report you were emailed last week by the head of analytics. It cross-references it with the transcript from yesterday's sales leadership call on Microsoft Teams, where you discussed regional performance. It pulls all of that context together, sends it securely to the LLM, and in seconds delivers a concise, accurate summary right inside of Word or an email draft, complete with key figures and highlights. It turned a 45-minute task of hunting for files and synthesizing data into a 10-second prompt. That's grounding. It's the difference between a novelty chatbot and an indispensable business tool. Now, I know what every executive, every IT leader, and every general counsel in the United States is thinking right now: security, privacy, data governance. The idea of feeding your company's most sensitive information, your financial records, your product roadmaps, your customer lists, into an AI model can sound terrifying. And it would be, if that's how it worked. But Microsoft has built Copilot on a foundation of enterprise-grade security and trust that is non-negotiable. Let's be unequivocally clear. Your company's data is your data. It is never ever used to train the foundational LLM models. Your information is protected by what's called a tenant boundary. Think of your company's Microsoft 365 environment as a digital fortress. When Copilot processes a request, all of that grounding data from the Microsoft Graph and the prompt from your user stays within that fortress. The processing happens in a secure, isolated instance. The AI comes to your data does not go out to the AI. This architecture is designed from the ground up to comply with the most stringent security and privacy commitments. It inherits all the policies you've already set up in Microsoft 365, from data loss prevention to retention policies. You have full control. This isn't the Wild West of consumer AI. This is a secure, compliant, and auditable system designed for the realities of the American enterprise. You're not just buying a feature. You're buying into an ecosystem of trust that Microsoft has spent decades building with the world's largest companies. So what we have is a revolutionary AI engine, seamlessly integrated into the tools your team uses every hour of every day, and securely grounded in your company's own universe of data. This isn't just Copilot. This is Copilot for Enterprise. It's a centrally managed solution that gives your IT department the controls they need, while giving your employees the power they crave. It's the ability to not only use this incredible technology, but to customize and extend it, to build your own copilots that understand your company's unique processes and terminology. We've established the what and the how. We have this incredibly powerful, secure engine, ready to be deployed. But what does it actually do? What does a day in the life of a sales executive, a marketing manager, a financial analyst, or an engineer actually look like when they have a world-class Copilot by their side? The answer will change the way you think about productivity forever. Let's start with Sarah, a senior account executive at a mid-sized American tech firm. Her alarm goes off at 6 a.m. in her Chicago apartment. The first thing she does, like most of us, is grab her phone. But instead of mindlessly scrolling, she opens her work email. Normally, this would be a recipe for instant anxiety. She has a career-defining meeting at 9 a.m. with a massive potential client, and she knows her inbox is a war zone of overnight emails from the client's global team, her own leadership, and the product specialists. But today is different. Instead of spending the next hour frantically piecing together the narrative, she taps the Summarize by Copilot button at the top of her Outlook. In about 15 seconds, a clean bulleted list appears. It tells her the client's legal team in London has approved the master service agreement, but their engineering lead in Dallas has 3 new technical questions about data residency. It flags an email from her own VP of sales asking for a pre-meeting sync at 8 a.m., and it highlights a critical action item she missed from last week, to send over the final security compliance white paper. Before Copilot, this process was a manual high-stress scavenger hunt. It would have taken her 45 minutes of reading, rereading, and cross-referencing just to get a baseline understanding. Now, it takes less time than it takes to brew a cup of coffee. She's not just catching up, she's already ahead. Next, she opens Microsoft Teams. She needs to answer those 3 technical questions from the Dallas engineer, and she needs to be an expert. The problem is, the feature they're asking about was just rolled out last quarter. She wasn't on the development team. So she goes to her Teams chat and types a prompt directly to Copilot. Summarize all conversations and files in the Project Titan channel from the last 30 days that mention data residency and multi-node architecture. Pull out the key technical specifications and any documented limitations. This is where Copilot Enterprise flexes its real muscle. It's not just searching the web. It's securely searching her company's entire universe of internal data. The chats, the meeting transcripts, the SharePoint files, the Word docs, the presentations. It's accessing the collective brain of her organization. Within seconds, Copilot returns a concise summary. It pulls the exact slide from a PowerPoint the lead engineer shared 3 weeks ago. It quotes a message from a developer clarifying a key spec, and it links directly to the official technical documentation on their internal SharePoint. Sarah now has precise, verifiable answers. She's gone from being reactive to being deeply informed, all before her first meeting. Now for the proposal. The client wants a revised draft reflecting their new questions. Pre-Copilot, this meant blocking out 2 to 3 hours of her day, finding the old proposal, manually updating sections, and hoping she didn't miss anything. Instead, she opens a blank Word document. She gives Copilot a single powerful prompt. Create a new proposal for client XYZ. Use our standard enterprise proposal template. Incorporate the key value propositions from my recent email summary. Address the 3 technical questions about data residency using the information from the Project Titan Teams channel. And generate a new executive summary that emphasizes a 15% projected ROI based on their industry, using data from the attached Q3 case study. She hits enter, and she watches as Word begins to write. It pulls in the company letterhead. It structures the table of contents. It writes a personalized executive summary. It drafts the technical specifications section, accurately reflecting the information it just found in Teams. It pulls in the right pricing tables and legal boilerplate. In under a minute, she has a 12-page document that is 90% complete and 100% accurate. All she has to do is review, add her personal touch, and send it. The 2 hours she just saved isn't just free time. It's time she can now spend preparing for her 8 a.m. sync with her VP. Or even better, researching the client's latest business challenges to make her 9 a.m. pitch even stronger. This isn't science fiction. This is the new reality of a sales executive in a Copilot-enabled enterprise. But the story doesn't stop there, because every department is connected. Let's move across the country to San Diego to meet Mike, the marketing manager. He gets a message from Sarah right after her 9 a.m. call. The good news: the client was blown away. The bad news: they mentioned a new, unannounced feature from a competitor that's making them nervous. They've heard whispers of something called Quantum Leap. Mike has never heard of it. His job is to respond fast. His old workflow, frantically Googling, assigning a junior analyst to spend a day scouring press releases and industry blogs. It was slow and often incomplete. His new workflow is to open Microsoft Edge and use Copilot. Because his company has Copilot Enterprise, his searches are protected. The company's data, his prompts, nothing is saved or used to train the public AI models. It's a secure, private research environment. Mike types in a sophisticated prompt. Act as a competitive intelligence analyst. Perform a deep analysis of our competitor, Innovatech, and their rumored quantum leap feature. Scour the last 60 days of tech news, patent filings, and financial analyst reports. Summarize the keynote from their recent developer conference, and analyze social media sentiment from industry influencers regarding this feature. Ground all your findings in verifiable public sources and provide the links. Copilot gets to work. It's not just giving him a list of 10 blue links. It's synthesizing information. It finds a patent filing from 2 months ago that describes the core technology. It cross-references that with a comment from the Innovatech CEO on an earnings call that hinted at a paradigm shift in their product line. It pulls tweets from 3 influential software engineers who attended the conference and were buzzing about a private demo. Mike now has a comprehensive intelligence brief. He needs to share this with leadership immediately. He opens PowerPoint. Instead of staring at a blank slide, he gives Copilot a prompt. Create a 10-slide presentation for an executive audience summarizing the competitive threat of Innovatech's quantum leap. Start with an executive summary slide. Include a slide detailing the feature's technical capabilities based on the research brief you just created. Add a SWOT analysis slide. And conclude with 3 potential counter-messaging strategies for our own Project Titan. PowerPoint springs to life. It designs the slides, using their official company template. It populates them with text drawn directly from the research. It even suggests speaker notes for Mike. What used to be a half-day fire drill is now a polished, data-driven presentation, ready in 10 minutes. This presentation lands on the desk of Jessica, a financial analyst in the Boston office. The executives love Mike's analysis, but they have one question. What's the financial risk? If this competitor launches, which of our revenue streams are most vulnerable? Jessica's world is Excel, and her spreadsheets are legendary, thousands of rows, dozens of tabs, complex models that only she truly understands. Answering this question before would have meant days of filtering, creating pivot tables, and manually charting data. It was tedious and prone to error. Now she opens the Master Sales Data Workbook. She activates the Copilot pane and types in plain English. Analyze the sales data in the Q3_sales_data tab. Segment revenue by product line and customer industry. Identify which customer segments are most correlated with the features in our Project Titan offering. Create a new sheet with a pivot table and a bar chart that visualizes this revenue concentration. Then, highlight in red any segments where our market share has declined by more than 2% in the last quarter. This is the moment where jaws drop. Copilot doesn't just format cells. It understands context. It interprets her request, analyzes the relationships within her data, performs the calculations, and generates the exact pivot table and chart she asked for. It even applies the conditional formatting she requested. It has done in 30 seconds what would have taken her the entire afternoon. She can now immediately see that 40% of their revenue from the manufacturing sector is tied to the product line directly threatened by quantum leap. She has found the smoking gun. The data flies up the chain of command and a decision is made. They need to accelerate development on a new feature for Project Titan to counter the threat. And that brings us to our final hero of the morning. David, a software engineer working from his home office in Austin, Texas. David is tasked with building this new feature, but he has to build it on top of a section of code that's 5 years old, written by an engineer who has long since left the company. It's complex and poorly documented. It's a classic engineering nightmare. Instead of spending a day deciphering it, he highlights the entire block of code. He right-clicks and asks Copilot, "Explain this legacy code. What is its primary function? What are its inputs and outputs? And identify any potential performance bottlenecks or deprecated libraries." Instantly, a clear line-by-line explanation appears in the comments. Copilot points out an inefficient sorting algorithm and suggests a more modern, faster alternative. It has saved him a full day of reverse engineering. Now he needs to write the new code. He writes a comment describing the logic he needs. // create a function that securely authenticates a user via multi-factor authentication. retrieves their data from the Titan DB, and caches it in Redis for 15 minutes. He hits Tab and Copilot, trained on billions of lines of code and fully aware of the context of his project, generates the entire function for him. It's clean, efficient, and follows all the company's internal coding best practices. It's not just a shortcut, it's like having the world's best pair programmer sitting next to him, available 24/7. David's job isn't to write boilerplate code anymore. It's to solve the truly hard problems, guiding the AI to build the routine parts. His productivity doesn't just increase by 10 or 20%. It doubles, maybe more. So let's pause and look back. In the span of a single morning from Chicago to San Diego, Boston to Austin, we've seen an interconnected chain of value. A salesperson prepared for a critical meeting in minutes, not hours. A marketer neutralized a competitive threat before it even fully emerged. A financial analyst uncovered a multi-million-dollar business risk in seconds. And an engineer began building the solution at lightning speed. This isn't about individual tools making individual employees a little bit faster. This is about an integrated system creating organizational velocity. It's about breaking down silos and empowering every single person with the collective knowledge of the entire company, instantly. But how does it all actually work? How does Microsoft ensure that your company's most sensitive data, the secret sauce that Sarah, Mike, and Jessica are using, remains private and secure? How does it tap into this organizational brain without exposing it to the world? To understand that, we need to look under the hood. We need to talk about the single most important component of the entire system, the Microsoft Graph. The Microsoft Graph. The name sounds technical, almost boring. But I promise you, this is the single most exciting, most revolutionary piece of technology in the entire Microsoft ecosystem, and it's the secret sauce that makes Copilot Enterprise not just a feature, but a fundamental shift in how we work. Forget thinking of it as a chart or a diagram. Think of it as the central nervous system of your entire organization. It's the digital fabric that connects every person, every document, every email, every calendar invite, every message, and every single piece of data your company creates within the Microsoft 365 universe. To truly grasp why this is such a game changer, you have to understand the fundamental problem with large language models like the one that powers ChatGPT. These models are incredibly smart. They've been trained on a colossal amount of public data from the internet. They can write a sonnet, explain quantum physics, or draft a marketing email. But ask one a simple question like, what were the key action items from my team's budget meeting last Tuesday? And it will have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Doesn't know who you are. Doesn't know your team. It has no access to your company's private, internal world. And this is the paradox that has stumped businesses for years. How do you give this incredibly powerful AI the context of your organization so it can be genuinely useful? The obvious and terrifying answer used to be, you train it on your data. You feed your company's sensitive documents, your private emails, your strategic plans into the model. For any US company concerned with security, compliance, or intellectual property, which is to say every single one of them, this is a non-starter. It's the equivalent of publishing your company's entire server on the public internet. It's slow, it's astronomically expensive, and it's a security and privacy nightmare waiting to happen. This is where Microsoft played a completely different game. They didn't try to teach the AI everything about your company. Instead, they built a system that gives the AI the exact information it needs at the exact moment it needs it, and then makes it forget. That system is powered by the Microsoft Graph. Let's walk through a real-world example. You open Microsoft Teams and you type a prompt into Copilot. Summarize the latest updates on the Project Titan launch, and create a list of outstanding risks based on my recent emails with the legal team. Now here's what doesn't happen. Your prompt and your company's data are not sent to a generic public AI model for training. Instead, a multi-step, secure process kicks off, and the graph is the star of the show. First, Copilot takes your prompt and sends it to the Microsoft Graph. The graph is like the world's most brilliant, context-aware librarian for your company. It instantly understands Project Titan isn't just a random phrase. It's a specific project with associated Teams channels, SharePoint sites, and documents. It understands that my recent emails means your emails, and it can cross-reference that with the term legal team to identify the specific people and conversations that are relevant. It's not just doing a keyword search, it's understanding relationships. It knows that this document is related to that meeting which was attended by these people, who then had this email conversation. The graph then performs a lightning-fast search across your organization's data, your SharePoint, your OneDrive, your Outlook, your Teams chats, all while rigorously respecting every single existing security and permission setting. If you don't have permission to see a document, the graph won't find it, and Copilot will never know it exists. This is critical. Copilot doesn't give anyone new access. It only works with the data you are already authorized to see. Once the graph has gathered all the relevant snippets of information, the latest Project Titan status report, the specific email thread with the legal team discussing risks, maybe a recent PowerPoint presentation on the launch timeline, it bundles this context together with your original prompt. This combined package, your prompt plus the curated, relevant, and secure data from the graph, is then sent to the large language model. This process is called grounding. You are grounding the AI in the reality of your company's data. You're essentially giving the AI a temporary, hyper-relevant cheat sheet and saying, using only the information I've provided in this packet, answer the user's question. The LLM then does what it does best. It reads the provided context, synthesizes the information, and generates a concise, human-readable summary. It identifies the risks from the legal emails and formulates them into a clear, bulleted list. But it's not over yet. The response generated by the AI is then sent back into the Microsoft ecosystem for a final check. This is post-processing. It's checked for responsible AI principles, for security, for compliance, and to ensure it's not leaking any sensitive information. Only after passing these checks is the final, polished answer presented back to you in the Copilot interface. And here's the most important part of all. Once the transaction is complete, that temporary cheat sheet, created by the graph, is discarded. Your company's data was never absorbed into the foundational model. It was never used for training. It was a fleeting, in-the-moment reference used in a secure sandbox and then forgotten. This grounding architecture solves the business AI paradox perfectly. You get all the power of a world-class large language model, but with the hyper-specific context of your own organization's data, all without ever compromising your security or privacy. Your data stays within your Microsoft 365 tenant, protected by the same comprehensive compliance and security controls you already rely on. The Microsoft Graph is constantly working in the background, indexing and mapping the relationships between all your content. It's a living, breathing map of your organization's collective knowledge. It knows who reports to whom. It knows who works on what projects. It knows who are the subject matter experts on any given topic, just by analyzing communication and collaboration patterns. When you ask Copilot, who knows the most about our supply chain logistics in the Southwest region? It's the graph that analyzes email traffic, Teams channel memberships, and document authorship to give you a real, actionable answer. This goes so far beyond simple search. Traditional search finds documents. The Microsoft Graph finds answers, and more importantly, it understands context. It's the difference between a dictionary and a conversation with an expert. A dictionary can give you a definition, but an expert can tell you how to apply it, why it matters, and who else you should talk to. That is the power that the graph unlocks. It transforms Microsoft 365 from a suite of separate applications into a single, cohesive, intelligent knowledge base. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, Outlook, they are no longer just tools. They are endpoints feeding information into and drawing intelligence from this central nervous system. Every document you write, every meeting you have, enriches the graph, making it smarter and more valuable to the entire organization. This is the foundational pillar that makes Copilot Enterprise possible. Without the graph, Copilot would just be a clever chatbot. With the graph, it becomes an indispensable member of your team, an assistant with perfect memory, and a comprehensive understanding of your entire business. It's the engine that powers true contextual AI at work. And when you see how this engine is integrated directly into the applications that millions of Americans use for hours every single day, you start to realize the scale of the transformation we are about to witness. Let's start with Microsoft Word. For decades, it's been the digital equivalent of a blank sheet of paper. A powerful tool, but one that often stares back at you, waiting for inspiration to strike. The dreaded blank page syndrome has cost American businesses billions of hours in lost productivity. Copilot changes this forever. Imagine you're a project manager, we'll call her Jessica. She needs to draft a comprehensive project proposal for a new software implementation. The old way, she'd spend the first hour just trying to remember where all the pieces of information are. She'd have to find the meeting notes from last week's stakeholder call in OneNote, pull up the preliminary budget figures from an Excel spreadsheet, find the team BIOS in a separate document, and then try to stitch it all together into a coherent structure based on the company's proposal template, which is probably buried somewhere on SharePoint. It's a scavenger hunt before the real work even begins. With Copilot Enterprise, Jessica's workflow is completely transformed. She opens a blank Word document, but instead of a blinking cursor, she has an intelligent assistant. She types a single, simple prompt into the Copilot bar. Draft a project proposal for the Project Titan software rollout. Use the meeting minutes from the May 15th stakeholder call in OneNote. Incorporate the budget breakdown from the Titan_budget_QE XLSX file, and pull in the BIOS for the assigned development team. Structure it using the official Q3 2024 project proposal template. And then she watches. In less than 30 seconds, Copilot, with its secure access to her company's Microsoft Graph, finds all those disparate pieces of information. It understands the context of the meeting notes, it correctly interprets the data in the spreadsheet, it locates the right template, and it assembles a fully formed, multi-page proposal. It's not a generic, flimsy outline. It's a robust, detailed draft complete with an executive summary, project goals derived from the meeting, a timeline, the actual budget table copied from Excel, and the correct team member profiles. This alone is a revolutionary leap. But it's just the starting point. The draft is now a living document she can converse with. Jessica can highlight a paragraph and ask Copilot, make this section more persuasive by emphasizing the long-term ROI. Copilot rewrites it, perhaps even suggesting data points from the budget file to back up the claims. She can ask it to summarize this entire document into a 5-bullet point email for senior leadership, and it generates the text right there. She's no longer just a writer. She's an editor, a strategist, a director. The tedious, time-consuming work of aggregation and formatting is gone. Her entire focus can shift to the high-level thinking, refining the message, strengthening the argument, and ensuring the proposal will win over the stakeholders. This isn't just about saving time. It's about elevating the quality of the work itself. Now let's move to the application that runs the financial backbone of countless US companies, Microsoft Excel. For every Excel wizard who can write complex formulas and build intricate macros in their sleep, there are 100 other employees who struggle to do much more than basic sums and cell formatting. It's an incredibly powerful tool that, for many, remains frustratingly inaccessible. Copilot in Excel is the great democratizer of data analysis. Let's go back to Jessica. Her boss now wants to understand the resource allocation in her project budget. The old way, she'd have to manually filter rows, remember the syntax for a VLOOKUP or a SUMA function, and painstakingly create charts hoping she got the data ranges right. With Copilot, she simply asks questions in plain English. She opens her Titan_budget_QE XLSX spreadsheet and types into the Copilot pane. Analyze the expense category column and show me a breakdown by percentage. Instantly, a new sheet might appear with a clean pie chart and a summary table. She can then follow up. Which line item has the highest variance from the projected cost? Copilot highlights the row and provides a brief explanation. She can even ask it to create new models. Create a new table that forecasts the next 6 months of spending, assuming a 5% increase in contractor costs and a 2% decrease in software licensing fees. Copilot doesn't just perform a calculation. It builds the new model for her, labeling everything clearly. It can identify trends, point out outliers, and create professional-grade visualizations without her ever touching the formula bar. This empowers every employee, from the marketing intern to the senior VP, to unlock the insights hidden within their data. It transforms Excel from a daunting grid of cells into a conversational, interactive analytics engine. Finally, let's talk about the art of the presentation, the domain of Microsoft PowerPoint. How many millions of hours are spent every week across America, not on the substance of a presentation, but on the tedious mechanics of creating it? Aligning text boxes, searching for non-cheesy stock photos, making sure the branding is consistent. It's a necessary evil that drains creative energy. Copilot in PowerPoint acts as your personal design and content assistant. Jessica now needs to present her project proposal to the leadership team. Instead of starting from scratch, she can simply point Copilot to the Word document she just created. Her prompt could be, create a 15-slide presentation based on the Project Titan proposal Word document. Start with the title slide, include an agenda, create separate slides for the timeline, budget, and team, and end with a Q&A slide. Use the official company branding. Copilot gets to work. It reads and understands the structure of the Word document. It intelligently extracts the key points for each section and places them onto separate slides. It doesn't just copy and paste huge blocks of text. It summarizes them into concise bullet points. It pulls the timeline graphic and the budget chart directly into their own slides. It even adds relevant speaker notes to guide Jessica during her presentation, suggesting areas to elaborate on. The result is a complete, well-structured, and professionally designed presentation, created in minutes, not hours. She can then refine it conversationally. Add a slide after the budget that details potential risks. Can you find a better image for the title slide that represents innovation and technology? Make the font on all slide titles 2 points larger. The drudgery is automated, allowing Jessica to spend her time where it truly matters, practicing her delivery and anticipating the tough questions from the C-suite. From Word to Excel to PowerPoint, Copilot isn't just an add-on. It's a cohesive, intelligent fabric woven through the very tools that define the American workday. It's an amplification of an individual's skills, turning every employee into a data analyst, a professional writer, and a presentation designer, all at the same time. But what does that actually look like on a Tuesday morning, when the coffee is kicking in and the inbox is already overflowing? Let's move past the theory and step into the real world. Let's talk about Sarah. Sarah is a marketing manager at a mid-sized manufacturing company based in Cleveland, Ohio. Her job, like millions of others across America, is a constant juggling act. Before Copilot Enterprise, her typical day was a battle against information overload. She'd start by spending an hour sifting through 100 new emails, trying to separate the critical updates from the endless reply-all chains. Then, she'd begin the monumental task of preparing for the quarterly business review. This meant opening a dozen different files. There's the master sales data in an Excel spreadsheet on a shared drive, filled with thousands of rows of raw numbers. There's the latest customer feedback report, saved as a PDF from the market research team. There are project updates scattered across multiple Microsoft Teams channels, and a few critical notes she jotted down during a call in OneNote. Her mission? To synthesize all of this into a coherent story, to find the signal in the noise. This was a manual, painstaking process, copying data from Excel, pasting it into a Word document, trying to cross-reference customer complaints with a dip in regional sales. It was slow, frustrating, and prone to human error. Did she miss a key insight buried in a Teams chat? Did she misinterpret a data point? The pressure was immense. After hours of data wrangling, she'd then spend another 3 to 4 hours building a PowerPoint deck. She'd fight with formatting, search for compelling visuals, and try to distill complex ideas into simple bullet points, all while the clock was ticking. By the end of the day, she'd have a presentation, but she'd be drained, and she'd worry about what she might have missed. Now let's rewind that same Tuesday morning and give Sarah Copilot Enterprise. She sits down at her desk. Instead of diving into the chaotic inbox, she opens Outlook and asks Copilot to summarize my unread emails from the executive team and flag any action items due this week. In seconds, she gets a concise summary. The noise is gone. She sees the 3 things that truly matter and can draft replies instantly, using Copilot to adopt a professional and confident tone. Next, the quarterly business review. This is where the magic happens. Instead of opening a dozen files, she opens Copilot in Teams and types a single prompt. Something like this. Analyze the Q3_sales_data, XLSX file, cross-reference it with the key findings in customer_feedback_report.pdf, and summarize the project updates from the Q3 campaign Teams channel. Identify the top 3 performing product lines, the most common customer complaint, and generate a risk assessment for our new product launch. Present it as a summary in a Word document. And then she waits. But not for long. In about a minute, Copilot, with its secure access to her company's entire Microsoft graph, the universe of its data, gets to work. It doesn't just search, it understands. It connects the dots between the sales spreadsheet, the PDF report, and the team conversations. It generates a comprehensive Word document that doesn't just present data, it provides insights. It might highlight that while a certain product is selling well overall, customer feedback indicates a packaging flaw that's causing frustration. A crucial connection Sarah might have spent hours discovering or missed entirely. Now for the presentation. She takes the Word document Copilot just created and gives a new prompt. Create a 15-slide PowerPoint presentation based on this document for the quarterly business review. Start with an executive summary, Create a slide for each key finding with appropriate charts, and end with a slide outlining recommended next steps. Use our official corporate branding template. Copilot for PowerPoint springs into action. It structures the entire deck. It creates titles, bullet points, and even generates speaker notes to help Sarah elaborate on each point. It visualizes the sales data with clean, professional charts. It might even use Designer to create custom graphics or find high-quality, licensed stock photos that match the content of each slide. The 4-hour marathon of building a presentation is now a 20-minute process of reviewing and refining a nearly perfect draft. Sarah's entire day has been transformed. The hours she used to spend on low-value manual tasks, searching, copying, pasting, formatting, are now free. She can spend her time on what she was actually hired to do: thinking strategically, developing creative marketing campaigns, and mentoring her team. She's no longer just a manager. She's a data-backed strategist. Now multiply that effect. This isn't just about one employee in Ohio. This is about every knowledge worker in the company. It's the finance team in New York closing the books in days instead of weeks because Copilot can instantly reconcile reports from different systems. It's the R&D department in California accelerating innovation because Copilot can summarize decades of internal research documents and patents in minutes. It's the sales team on the road, using Copilot on their phone to get a complete briefing on a client, summarizing all past emails, meeting notes, and support tickets, right before they walk into a crucial meeting. This directly solves one of the biggest paradoxes facing American businesses today: being data-rich but insight-poor. Companies have invested trillions of dollars in systems that generate unfathomable amounts of data, but most of that data sits dormant in digital silos, inaccessible to the very people who need it to make smart decisions. Copilot Enterprise acts as the universal translator, the intelligent layer that bridges these silos. It democratizes data analysis, taking it out of the exclusive hands of data scientists and putting it into the hands of every employee, in the simple, intuitive form of natural language. But as this incredible power becomes clear, a critical question emerges in the mind of every CEO, every CIO, and every IT director in the country. Is it safe? Entrusting an AI with your company's most sensitive data, financial records, strategic plans, customer information, feels like a monumental risk. And with consumer-grade AI tools, it absolutely is. Many of those tools send your prompts and your data to be processed on external servers, potentially using it to train their public models. That's a non-starter for any serious business. This is where the enterprise in Copilot Enterprise becomes the most important word. Microsoft built this from the ground up on a foundation of trust and security that is deeply integrated into the fabric of Microsoft 365. Your data, your prompts, your responses, the information it accesses, never leaves your organization's security and compliance boundary. It is never used to train the underlying large language models. Think of it as a secure vault. Copilot has a key, but that key only works inside your company's digital walls. It inherits all the robust security policies you've already set up in Microsoft 365. If an employee doesn't have permission to access a confidential HR folder on SharePoint, their Copilot can't access it either. Period. It respects every user permission, every data label, and every compliance policy your company has painstakingly put in place. For businesses in highly regulated industries like finance, healthcare, or defense contracting, this isn't just a feature. It's the entire ballgame. It's the fundamental requirement that makes this powerful AI not just a possibility, but a reality. So the technology is powerful and the security is locked down. The tool can revolutionize individual productivity and unlock collective intelligence on an unprecedented scale. But having a Formula One car in the garage is useless if no one in the company knows how to drive it. The real challenge, the one that separates the winners from the losers in this new AI era, isn't about buying the software. It's about changing the way we think about work itself. And this is where the rubber meets the road. It's a paradigm shift from being a task doer to a task director. For decades, the measure of a productive knowledge worker was their speed and proficiency with a tool set. How fast can you create a pivot table in Excel? How many keyboard shortcuts do you know in PowerPoint? We became master craftsmen of digital tools, our value tied to our manual dexterity on a keyboard and mouse. That era is over. The new measure of productivity, the new scarce skill, is the ability to articulate intent. It's the quality of your questions, not the speed of your clicks. Welcome to the age of the prompt. The prompt is the new user interface for work. It's the blank text box that holds more power than any toolbar or drop-down menu ever did. And mastering it is not some technical, nerdy skill reserved for engineers. It's a fundamental communication skill. Think of Copilot as the most brilliant, most capable, but also the most literal-minded intern you've ever had. If you walk up to that intern and say, "Hey, do the sales stuff," you're going to get a mess. But if you say, "Analyze our Q3 sales data from Salesforce, identify the top 3 performing regions by revenue growth, cross-reference that with our marketing spend in those regions from our HubSpot data, and create a one-page summary with 3 key takeaways for the executive team," you're going to get a masterpiece. That's the difference. It's the difference between failure and a competitive edge. The art of the prompt is about providing 4 key ingredients: role, context, task, and format. First, role. You have to tell the AI who it should be. Don't just ask it to write an email. Tell it, "Act as a seasoned vice president of marketing." Immediately, you've set a tone, a level of expertise, and a perspective. The AI will adopt that persona, using language and framing appropriate for that role. Second, context. This is the background, the why. This is where you ground the AI in your reality. We are a B2B SaaS company that just launched a new feature called Project Atlas. Early adoption has been slower than projected, and we're seeing a 15% drop-off after the free trial. Without context, the AI is just guessing. With context, it's a strategic partner. Third, the task. This needs to be specific and action-oriented. Use strong verbs. Instead of think about some marketing ideas, say, generate 10 distinct marketing campaign headlines for a LinkedIn ad campaign targeting project managers in the construction industry. Each headline should highlight either cost savings or time efficiency. See the precision? You're not hoping for a good result, you're engineering it. And finally, format. How do you want the answer delivered? Present the answer in a markdown table with columns for headline, target audience, and key benefit. Write this as a professional but friendly email under 200 words. Summarize this into 5 bullet points. If you don't specify the format, you'll get a wall of text. By defining the output, you make the information immediately usable. Role, context, task, format. It's a simple framework, but it's transformative. Let's see it in action. Imagine a junior analyst, Sarah. Her boss asks her to figure out why customer churn is up. The old way, the pre-Copilot way, would be a multi-day slog. Sarah would spend hours exporting data from Zendesk, pulling subscription data from Stripe, trying to merge massive CSV files in Excel, wrestling with VLOOKUPs that keep breaking, and then trying to build coherent charts in PowerPoint, all while her main job duties pile up. The mediocre Copilot user, the one who hasn't made the mental shift, might type in, "Why is our customer churn up?" Copilot would give a generic, unhelpful answer. Customer churn can be caused by poor customer service, high prices, or product issues. Thanks, Captain Obvious. That's useless. But the power user Sarah, who understands the new paradigm, does this. She opens Copilot and writes a prompt with all 4 ingredients. Act as a senior data analyst specializing in customer retention for SaaS companies. That's the role. Our company provides project management software. We've seen a 5% increase in monthly customer churn over the past quarter, primarily among our pro-tier customers who have been with us for less than 6 months. We suspect it's related to a recent UI update we pushed 2 months ago. That's the context. Analyze the support tickets from the last 90 days with the tag pro-tier and churn. Cross-reference these tickets with user activity logs to identify the top 3 most common feature-related complaints or points of friction mentioned just before cancellation. That's the task. Summarize your findings in 3 concise bullet points, each followed by a direct, anonymized quote from a support ticket that exemplifies the problem. Then, create a simple table showing the complaint category and the percentage of churned users who mentioned it. And that's the format. In less than a minute, Copilot delivers a response that would have taken Sarah 2 days to produce manually. It's not just data, it's insight. It's actionable intelligence. Sarah didn't do the analysis, she directed it. Her value wasn't in her ability to manipulate a spreadsheet. It was in her ability to ask the right question. This is the skill that will define careers in the next decade. And this is where Microsoft Copilot Enterprise takes this concept and puts it on steroids. Because what happens when you want to ask questions that are unique to your business? What about your internal processes, your proprietary data, your company's acronyms and project code names? A generic AI knows nothing about that. This is where Copilot Studio comes in. Copilot Studio is the control panel that turns a general-purpose AI into a bespoke, expert employee trained specifically on your business. It allows companies to build their own custom copilots or GPTs that are grounded in their own data. You can connect it securely to your internal knowledge bases, your SharePoint, your OneDrive, your internal wikis. Imagine building a procurement copilot. An employee can ask, "What is our company's approved vendor process for ordering new laptops?" And instead of getting a generic web result, it pulls the specific up-to-date policy document from your company's internal SharePoint, summarizes the steps, and provides a direct link to the correct form. No more digging through outdated intranet pages. No more asking 3 different people and getting 3 different answers. Think of a sales battle card copilot. A sales rep is about to jump on a call with a potential client who mentions they're currently using a competitor, Zendesk. The rep can instantly ask their custom copilot, "Give me the top 3 differentiators between our product and Zendesk for a mid-market e-commerce company." The copilot, trained on your company's internal competitive intelligence documents, provides the exact talking points, tailored to that specific scenario, in seconds. This isn't just about answering questions. Copilot Studio allows you to connect to over 1,000 other systems like Salesforce, ServiceNow, Workday, and more. You can build custom copilots that don't just provide information but take action. A manager could type, "Create a new project team for Project Overlord in our system. Add Mark from engineering, Susan from marketing, and David from finance. Set the project kickoff date for next Monday, and automatically schedule a 30-minute introductory meeting." Copilot Studio can then execute that entire workflow across multiple applications, creating the team in Microsoft Teams, setting up the project in Jira, and scheduling the meeting in Outlook. This is automation on a level we've never seen before, all driven by natural language. What Microsoft has understood is that the real power of enterprise AI isn't just giving every employee a smart assistant. It's about creating an intelligent fabric that connects the entire organization's data and processes. By building these custom copilots, a company is essentially creating a living, breathing digital version of its own corporate brain. One that learns, adapts, and makes the collective knowledge of the entire organization instantly accessible to every single employee. This moves us beyond simple productivity gains. This isn't just about writing emails faster. This is about fundamentally re-architecting how work gets done. It's about building a strategic asset, a proprietary intelligence engine that your competitors cannot replicate because it's built on the foundation of your unique data, your unique processes, and your unique people. The companies that master this won't just be more efficient. They will operate with a level of intelligence and agility that was previously unimaginable. They are building the future one prompt at a time. But what does this future, built one prompt at a time, actually look like on the ground, inside the most ambitious companies in America? It looks like a fundamental rewiring of the corporate organism. The introduction of Copilot Enterprise isn't just like giving every employee a calculator, or even a computer. It's more like installing a central nervous system into the entire organization. A system that can feel, process, and react to information at a speed and scale that was, until now, the stuff of science fiction. This isn't about incremental improvement anymore. This is about creating a cognitive enterprise, and the race to build one is the new defining competition in American business. Let's move beyond the abstract and into the concrete. Picture a multi-billion-dollar merger and acquisition deal in the works. A classic high-stakes scenario. The acquiring company has just been granted access to the target's data room, a digital treasure trove containing hundreds of thousands of documents. Contracts, financial statements, HR records, internal emails, intellectual property filings. The old way, an army of junior analysts, lawyers, and accountants would descend upon this data, working around the clock for weeks, fueled by coffee and adrenaline. They'd manually read contracts, flagging risky clauses. They'd painstakingly build financial models in Excel, trying to spot inconsistencies. It's a process that is slow, expensive, and prone to human error. A single missed detail in a key supplier contract could cost millions down the line. Now let's run the same scenario with Copilot Enterprise. The M&A team doesn't start by dividing up documents. They start by asking questions. They point Copilot to the entire data room and ask, "Analyze all customer contracts signed in the last 3 years. Identify any with non-standard liability clauses, change of control provisions that could be triggered by this acquisition, and summarize the potential financial risk for each." While a human team would take a week to even start on that, Copilot returns a synthesized, prioritized report in under an hour. The team then asks, cross-reference the target company's sales projections with their internal project management data. Are there any discrepancies between their stated product roadmap and the actual engineering progress? Copilot can dive into two completely separate, unstructured datasets and find the subtle disconnects that signal a major red flag. The human team is no longer digging for needles in a haystack. They are elevated to the role of strategists, interrogating an all-knowing oracle, stress-testing its findings, and focusing their expertise on the big-picture decisions that actually matter. The speed of due diligence goes up by an order of magnitude, risk goes down, and the company can make a smarter, faster bid, potentially outmaneuvering competitors who are still stuck in the old world. Or consider the world of research and development, the very engine of American innovation. Think of a major pharmaceutical company trying to develop a new drug. They have decades of their own internal research, failed experiments, clinical trial data, lab notes, stored across countless disconnected systems. They also have the entire world's public medical research at their fingertips, millions of papers, studies, and patents. The challenge is connecting the dots. A breakthrough might be hidden in the intersection of a failed internal experiment from 2005 and a niche academic paper published in Finland last year. Finding that link is like winning the lottery. With Copilot Enterprise, it's no longer just luck. A research scientist can now prompt the system. Analyze our internal data on compound XYZ, which failed in phase 2 trials for Alzheimer's. Simultaneously scan all public research on protein folding disorders published in the last 18 months. Are there any newly discovered biological pathways where compound XYZ's mechanism of action might be effective? Copilot becomes a tireless research assistant. It can read and understand everything, instantly. It can connect the company's proprietary knowledge with the global firehose of public information, surfacing non-obvious hypotheses that no human researcher, or even a team of researchers, could ever realistically discover. This doesn't replace the scientist, it supercharges her. It collapses the discovery timeline from years to months, potentially saving millions of dollars and, more importantly, saving lives. This same principle applies to a tech company designing a new microchip or an automotive firm developing a safer battery. It transforms R&D from a slow, sequential process into a dynamic, conversational exploration of all known information. This new corporate nervous system isn't just for offense, it's also for defense. Imagine a global supply chain disruption. A major shipping lane is blocked, a key factory is shut down by a natural disaster. For most companies, this triggers a frantic, chaotic scramble. Who are our affected suppliers? Which product lines will be impacted? What are our alternative options? It's a manual, painful process of pulling reports from a dozen different systems while the clock is ticking and money is being lost. The company with Copilot Enterprise integrated into its operations has a radically different experience. The COO can simply ask, given the shutdown of the port of Singapore, provide an immediate impact assessment. List all inbound shipments currently delayed, the corresponding customer orders at risk, and model the financial impact on this quarter's revenue. Then, identify all pre-vetted alternative suppliers in our database located in Southeast Asia, who can produce the affected components and draft an initial inquiry email to their primary contacts. This is not a search query. This is a command for a comprehensive business continuity plan. Copilot can access real-time shipping data, connect it to the production schedule in the ERP system, cross-reference that with the customer relationship management database, and pull from procurement records to find solutions. It transforms a multi-day crisis management fire drill into a calm, data-driven response executed in minutes. This is organizational resilience as a service. What we're witnessing here is the creation of a powerful new kind of competitive advantage, the intelligence flywheel. The more a company uses its customized Copilot, the more it learns. It learns your unique business context, your data, your workflows, your successes, and your failures. This learning makes its answers and suggestions more relevant and more powerful. Better insights lead to better business decisions, which in turn generate new data, which further trains and refines the AI. It's a self-reinforcing loop. This creates what you might call an intelligence moat around the business. A competitor starting a year later won't just be a year behind in technology. They'll be a year behind in corporate self-awareness. Their AI won't know their business as well. Their people won't be as augmented. The gap between the leaders who adopt this early and the laggards who wait will not be a line. It will be a chasm, and it will grow exponentially wider over time. This is the true game changer for US companies. It's not just about personal productivity. It's about building a learning organization in the most literal sense. An organization that gets smarter, faster, and more resilient with every single query, every document created, and every meeting summarized. It's a strategic imperative that redefines what it means to be a data-driven company. But this level of integration, this deep connection to your company's crown jewels, your proprietary data, your secret sauce, it doesn't come without risk. It opens up a new frontier of challenges that every C-suite executive, every IT leader, and every board member must grapple with before they take the leap. Let's be brutally honest. The single greatest fear keeping CEOs and chief information security officers up at night is the idea of an AI-powered data breach. Not a sophisticated hack from a foreign adversary, but an unintentional catastrophic leak caused by a well-meaning employee and an overeager AI assistant. Imagine this scenario: your star sales director, preparing for a crucial pitch with a new strategic partner, asks Copilot, "Hey, create a PowerPoint summarizing our Q4 performance and future growth strategy for this new partnership." Copilot, in its quest to be the ultimate assistant, obliges. It scans your internal network, finds the latest, most detailed financial projections from the CFO's private folder, pulls sensitive R&D roadmap details from a confidential engineering document, and packages it all into a beautiful, compelling, and utterly disastrous presentation. The sales director, impressed by the speed, sends it off. And just like that, without a single line of malicious code, your company's most sensitive competitive intelligence has been handed to an external party. This isn't science fiction. This is the fundamental paradox of enterprise AI. The very mechanism that makes it so powerful, its ability to access and synthesize vast amounts of internal data, is also its greatest potential vulnerability. This leads to the second, more insidious risk: the permission creep catastrophe. Most large American companies, if they're honest with themselves, have a messy digital house. Over the years, permissions on SharePoint sites, Teams channels, and OneDrive folders get convoluted. People leave, roles change, and access rights are rarely cleaned up perfectly. A junior marketing coordinator might technically have read access to a folder containing sensitive M&A discussion documents from 5 years ago. They would never find it, never even know to look for it. It's security through obscurity. But Copilot changes the game. Doesn't need to know where to look. When that same coordinator asks a broad question like, "Summarize our company's past acquisition strategies," Copilot, with its superpowered semantic search, can instantly find that forgotten document and surface its confidential contents. Suddenly, your existing latent security vulnerabilities are not just exposed, they are amplified 1,000-fold. Copilot becomes a heat-seeking missile for poorly configured permissions, turning every employee into a potential vector for an internal data breach by simply asking an innocent question. The AI isn't breaking the rules, it's just expertly playing by the messy, forgotten rules you already have in place. And then there's the third phantom menace: the compliance and liability trap. What happens when Copilot, in an attempt to draft a customer service response, confidently hallucinates, or to put it bluntly, makes something up about your product's warranty policy, creating a legally binding promise the company can't keep? Or worse, in a healthcare setting, what if it summarizes a patient's chart but omits a critical allergy? Or in a financial firm, it generates a compliance report that misinterprets a key SEC regulation. The potential for regulatory fines, lawsuits, and reputational damage is staggering. Who is at fault? The employee who prompted it? The AI? The company that deployed it? This isn't just about data security anymore. It's about data integrity and operational liability. For U.S. companies operating in highly regulated industries, healthcare, finance, defense, legal, this is a non-starter. You can't simply plug in a powerful AI and hope for the best. You need ironclad assurances that the tool operates within the strict confines of the law and industry mandates. This is precisely where Microsoft draws a massive, bold line in the sand, separating its consumer-grade AI from the fortress that is Copilot for Microsoft 365. This isn't just a different feature set. It's a fundamentally different philosophy built on what they call the Copilot Trust Boundary. And the first, most important pillar of this boundary is a simple, unequivocal promise. Your data is your data. Period. Microsoft does not use your company's data, not your prompts, not the documents it accesses, not the responses it generates, to train its foundational large language models. Let me repeat that because it's the single most critical point for any business leader to understand. Your proprietary information, your customer lists, your secret sauce, never commingles with the global data pool. It never leaves your organization's tenant to make the public ChatGPT model smarter. This creates an ethical and technical firewall, ensuring that your competitive advantage remains exactly that, yours. The second pillar is how Copilot accesses your data. It's not a rogue agent roaming your network. It operates exclusively through the Microsoft Graph, which is the central nervous system of your entire Microsoft 365 environment. It connects your emails, your calendar, your Teams chats, your SharePoint files. But here's the magic. Copilot inherits and rigorously respects every single existing security permission and access policy you have configured. If an employee doesn't have permission to view a specific file in SharePoint, Copilot cannot access that file on their behalf. It's that simple. That permission creep catastrophe we talked about? This is the built-in antidote. Copilot's view of the company's data is unique to every single user. It only sees what that specific user is already authorized to see. This transforms the AI from a potential security risk into a powerful security audit tool, as it can quickly reveal where your existing permissions might be too broad. It forces a healthy data hygiene that many companies have been putting off for years. But passive protection isn't enough. The third pillar is active, enterprise-grade governance, and this is where Microsoft Purview comes into play. Purview is Microsoft's comprehensive data governance and compliance solution, and it's deeply integrated into Copilot. Think of it as the tireless digital security guard watching over every interaction. Does your company have rules against sharing personally identifiable information, or PII? Purview can be configured with data loss prevention, or DLP, policies. If an employee asks Copilot to summarize a customer list, and then tries to paste that summary into an email to an external address, Purview can automatically detect the sensitive information and block the email from being sent, alerting both the user and IT. Do you have sensitive documents labeled confidential or internal only? Copilot recognizes these sensitivity labels. It can be configured to handle that data with extra care, or even be prevented from accessing it altogether. This isn't just about preventing leaks. It's about enforcing your company's specific data handling policies at machine speed, turning your compliance rulebook into automated, real-time action. Finally, the fourth pillar addresses the liability trap: comprehensive audit and control. In the enterprise version of Copilot, nothing happens in a black box. Every prompt, every response, and every piece of data that Copilot references is logged and auditable. IT and compliance administrators have a full dashboard. They can see how the tool is being used by whom and for what purpose. If a questionable output is generated, there is a clear, traceable digital paper trail to understand the context and the source data used. This is crucial for regulatory compliance in industries that demand strict record-keeping. Furthermore, Microsoft provides a suite of controls for administrators to manage how Copilot is deployed. They can roll it out to specific departments, enable or disable certain features, and customize its behavior to align with corporate policy. This isn't an all-or-nothing proposition. It's a scalable, manageable platform designed for the complex realities of the modern American enterprise. It's a system built not just on power, but on provable trust, verifiable compliance, and granular control. So while the risks are real and deserve serious consideration, Microsoft has clearly architected its enterprise solution not as an afterthought, but with these security and compliance challenges at its very core. The technology provides the guardrails. The platform provides the controls. The trust boundary provides the assurance. The real question then shifts from "is the AI safe?" to something far more profound. The technology is ready to respect your rules, to enforce your policies, and to protect your data. But is your organization's digital house in order? The assurance. The real question then shifts from "is the AI safe?" to something far more profound. The technology is ready to respect your rules, to enforce your policies, and to protect your data. But is your organization's digital house in order? This isn't a rhetorical question. It's the single most important factor that will determine whether your company's journey with enterprise AI is a spectacular success or a frustrating, costly failure. Because Copilot Enterprise isn't a magic wand you can wave over a chaotic digital landscape. It's a precision instrument. And a precision instrument in an environment of chaos only creates more precise chaos. Think of it like this. You wouldn't hire the world's most brilliant, efficient librarian, and then lead them into a warehouse where millions of books are just thrown into a giant, unlabeled pile on the floor. Where would they even begin? How could they possibly find the one specific book you need? They couldn't. They'd be rendered useless, not by a lack of skill, but by the state of the environment. Copilot is that librarian. Your company's data, your SharePoint sites, your Teams channels, your OneDrive folders, is that warehouse. Getting your digital house in order means transforming that chaotic pile into a functional library. It means knowing what data you have, classifying its sensitivity, and controlling who has the keys to which rooms. This is the foundational work. It's the unglamorous, behind-the-scenes effort that enables the spectacular results. And Microsoft has built the exact tools for this job, primarily within the Microsoft Purview suite. This starts with data classification and labeling. You must be able to tell the AI, this document contains sensitive financial projections for next quarter. It is for executive eyes only. You do this with sensitivity labels. A document labeled top secret is treated differently by Copilot than one labeled public. When an employee who isn't on the executive team asks Copilot to summarize the company's financial future, the AI, respecting that label, will simply say it doesn't have access to that information. It won't leak it. It won't summarize it. It won't even hint at its existence. The security boundary is respected at the point of creation, and Copilot becomes its enforcer. Next is access control. This is the digital equivalent of a keycard system. Just because a file exists doesn't mean everyone should be able to see it. Are your SharePoint permissions a mess? Is everyone in the company still a member of a Teams channel from a project that ended 2 years ago? A channel that contains sensitive client negotiations? Copilot inherits and respects these permissions implicitly. If a user can't manually search for and open a file in SharePoint, Copilot can't access it on their behalf. Cleaning up your permissions isn't just good IT hygiene anymore. It's a prerequisite for intelligent automation. It's about ensuring that when your marketing intern asks for the latest ad campaign results, they get the public-facing summary, not the internal draft with the candid and potentially embarrassing executive commentary. This is the moment of truth for so many American companies. It's a digital reckoning. The arrival of tools like Copilot Enterprise is forcing a conversation that many organizations have been putting off for years. The conversation about data governance. Let's imagine two companies, both in the same industry, both competitors. Let's call them Apex Innovations and Summit Dynamics. Both decide to invest in Copilot Enterprise on the very same day. Apex Innovations is all about speed. The C-suite hears AI productivity and says, roll it out. Now, we need to be first. They push it out to their entire sales organization overnight. But their digital house is a mess. Permissions are loose. Old confidential client proposals from a decade ago are sitting in a public SharePoint folder. Product roadmaps with unannounced features are buried in old Teams channels that everyone has access to. On day one, a junior salesperson trying to be proactive asks Copilot, summarize our key strategies for competing with Summit Dynamics. Copilot, being the diligent librarian it is, scans everything it has access to. It finds a confidential M&A document from 2 years ago discussing a potential and ultimately failed acquisition of a smaller rival. It finds internal presentations critiquing Summit's weaknesses. It finds pricing models that were never approved. And it dutifully summarizes it all for this junior employee, who then, in a moment of misguided enthusiasm, shares some of these insights with a colleague. The information spreads. A week later, a key detail from that unannounced product roadmap is accidentally mentioned in a client call. The damage is done. Trust is broken. The leadership at Apex panics. They blame the AI. They pull the plug on the entire initiative, declaring, it's not ready for us. Now let's look at Summit Dynamics. Their leadership is just as eager, but they're also wise. They say, this is a monumental shift. Let's spend the next 60 days preparing the ground. They task their IT and security teams with a data cleanup sprint. They use Microsoft Purview to automatically discover and classify sensitive data. They apply retention labels. They conduct a permissions audit, revoking access to old projects and ensuring only the right people can see sensitive HR and finance data. They create a Copilot Center of Excellence to train a pilot group of users on how to craft effective prompts and understand the AI's boundaries. After 2 months, they roll out Copilot Enterprise to their sales team. The experience is night and day. A senior account executive is about to walk into a meeting with a major client. She asks Copilot, summarize all my recent emails, meeting transcripts, and action items related to this client, and cross-reference it with any recent support tickets they filed. In 30 seconds, Copilot delivers a perfect, concise briefing. It highlights that the client CFO mentioned a budget concern in a call 3 weeks ago, and that a support ticket about a minor software bug was just closed yesterday. The account executive walks into that meeting not just prepared, but armed with a complete 360-degree view of the relationship. She addresses the budget concern proactively and reassures them about the bug fix. She closes a deal that's 20% larger than projected. The success spreads. The marketing team uses Copilot to analyze thousands of pieces of customer feedback and identify 3 new feature requests that keep bubbling to the top. The product team gets this insight not in a quarterly report but in an afternoon. They adjust their roadmap. The legal team uses it to review contracts in a fraction of the time, flagging non-standard clauses with incredible accuracy. 6 months later, Apex Innovations is still trying to figure out what went wrong, mired in meetings about AI governance. Summit Dynamics, on the other hand, has just reported its most profitable quarter in company history. They're attracting the best talent because they're known as a forward-thinking, efficient place to work. They're outmaneuvering the competition because they can move at the speed of thought. The difference wasn't the technology. Both companies had the exact same tool. The difference was the preparation. The difference was the discipline to get the digital house in order before handing over the keys. This is the story that will define the next decade of business in the United States. The competitive landscape is being redrawn. The gap between the companies that harness this power correctly and those that don't will not be a gap. It will be a chasm. This isn't just about doing the same things faster. It's about enabling your people to do entirely new things. It's about unlocking the collective intelligence that is currently trapped in your company's silos, in forgotten documents and buried email threads. Copilot Enterprise, grounded in your company's data and secured by your rules, is the key, but it can only unlock the potential that's already there. It is a mirror that reflects the state of your organization's digital discipline. If you show it chaos, it will reflect chaos. But if you show it order, if you show it structure and intention, it will reflect an engine of innovation and growth that will be the envy of your industry. The AI revolution isn't coming. It is here. It's no longer a question of if this technology will reshape the American corporate landscape, but who will be the architects of that new landscape, and who will become its relics. The tool is on the table. The opportunity is immense. The work begins now.